You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
We are those weekend golf guys here for another weekend. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith live from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. And we promised you special guest in studio for this weekend show, and we have one. It's someone who you will all recognize. You don't know her, but you should recognize her. Hello, Dianne.
Hello, John.
Sound familiar? If you drive a GM car, you know this woman.
OnStar, how can I help you?
Of course, she was a little late because she doesn't listen to herself give herself directions, but, you know. And also, I got to tell you, I impressed some business partners of mine out in Canada. We had a go-to-meeting meeting, and you told us that we were all set to go. And I said, I know that woman. And they went, really?
That's me. I love telling people where to go.
And you do it well.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Dianne Williamson is our guest, not because she sounds really good, not because you've heard her on various and sundry communication devices and commercials throughout the country, not because she's pretty as hell. Yeah, I'm a guy. I'm a little shallow. I notice those things. But because 2 years ago, she picked up a golf club for the first time to play golf.
This is actually true.
Yeah, you have attacked people with them in the past, I understand. But
indeed.
So what's the story, Dianne? What behooved you at the tender age you are now to say, hey, there's something brand new I want to try?
I had avoided golf my whole life on purpose.
Well, your brother's a pretty good golfer.
Yes, he is. Yeah, my big brother Dan, and just never was interested in it. It was just something I knew I'd be bad at. Oh, if you're a Williamson, you don't want to do anything that you're bad at. Well, there's a quote from one of my favorite movies that talks about there's two things that you don't have to be good at to enjoy.
and golf is one of them.
That's exactly right. So anyway, last year...
I'm assuming drinking wine might be the other.
Yes, especially...
It's part.
Yes, that's part of it. But no, last year, my boyfriend, Art, and he likes to play golf, and I did a little bit of voice work for a local golf course here in Louisville, Kentucky, and they said, okay, what's your rate? And I said, let's just trade this. And I thought, well, this would be something nice for my boyfriend. I'll let him go over to Quail Chase, and he can play over there. And so I went with him just to ride along in the cart. And he has a spare set of golf clubs, the pink.
Yeah.
So they're pink. And I was like, well, okay, they're pink.
Which makes them easier for a woman to use.
I guess. I don't know. That's never been a color I liked. But anyway, so I decided just to try to see how much of a fool I could actually make of myself. And the first time I connected with that ball, I was like, oh, yeah. Now I know why. And then the next time I'm cussing like a sailor because I look like an idiot. Yeah. So.
Which is exactly why golf is the perfect game for just darn near everybody. No matter who you are, you're going to have both of those feelings pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's a very humbling game. And I wanted to quit the first couple of times that I went out there to play. And he finally said to me, Dianne, you're being so angry. You're so mad about it, and you're cussing, and you're being awful. He's like, I don't want to play with you, and you're no fun.
Yeah.
And then it occurred to me that it should be fun. And so it's a very complicated, it's like relationships, I think, Sometimes the more beautiful they are, the more difficult they are, right?
Oh, yeah.
We could get into that. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's great. It's great. But now you love it.
I do.
And you play every opportunity you get.
Every chance we get. And and I've actually played with like a friend of mine, a girlfriend of mine. I've played with other people instead of just Art.
Whoa.
Which is really scary because, they don't love me.
They don't have to accept you or forgive you or any of that stuff.
Exactly, they don't. So, but yeah, it's a little rattling though to play. We played a scramble back in the spring, and I was so nervous because there were other people playing with us
that you didn't know.
That I didn't know.
Yes,
I was. I felt like I was, playing naked or something. It was so embarrassing.
Have you ever tried that?
Funny you should mention that.
Are there pictures? That's the whole crux of what we do. I mean, golf should be fun.
Yes.
And there are ways to make it more fun. I could be great or be shooting well, but you put me in a group with people I don't know, and I can't hit a fairway.
That's right.
You just have to kind of ignore it. Realize that they have their own fears, that they're just as scared playing in front of you as you are playing in front of them.
So you say picture them naked, right?
You could do that.
Okay.
Depending on who they are.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, that really is dependent on who they are. I got an awful lot of thoughts in my head right now of what I don't want.
Those old fat guys we've been playing with? Nah.
No, not so much. No. All right. No. Nix that.
That's the whole thing. This game, for anybody, whether you're a kid, you're in your 30s, starting a career, you're, 75 and looking for something to do, pick up a golf club and just swing it and try it. Have you used it yet for your business?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I've thought about it because our home course is New Albany, and you're going up the 5th hill, or going up on 5. There's this big hill, and we've been walking now. We've decided to start walking the courses.
Oh, you do it for exercise. Oh, that's
yeah.
obnoxious.
Well, okay. When you were talking about how you make golf fun, usually for us it involves a cooler, and sometimes we'll even bring a little music
Sometimes too.
have a party. Yes,
Yeah.
but no. So we thought, okay, because every time I tell someone that I've been playing golf, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's such great exercise," and I'm going, "No,
Not
not
really.
the way we do it." No. And so we talked about it. Well, why not? So we bought a couple of those little push cart things. So we played New Albany. I think the first time that I walked the course. He loves doing it. Me, I'm just like, ugh. This takes all the fun out of it. I like driving the golf cart. you know.
Yeah.
So I get up to the top of the hill on the 5th there at New Albany, and I'm dying because the thing. It's like I thought I needed to be a mountain goat to get up that thing. And there's a tree, and I need to sit down on something just to rest.
Right.
There's no bench. They need a bench there. So I'm thinking, She Said Productions, my little company, should buy a bench and say, hey, ladies, have a seat. Because it's the
down.
ladies' tee up there at the top of that hill.
Ah, well, there you go.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Absolutely phenomenal idea.
I know.
We've got many more good ideas. We're going to talk a lot more about amateur golf. I'm sure you have a few tricky situations that Jeff is here to make your next round so much more better. And we also have Roger Sheaves, who's director of the Amateur Golf Week Amateur Tour down in Nashville, going to be talking about amateur golf. And we want you to hang out with us. We will be right back.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't three-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The putting stroke teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap
Yeah.
and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand.
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway. Just
Open
get
up
it.
the box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com. And welcome back, those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, and of course Dianne Williamson here with us in studio. Jeff.
I hear you. Yeah, it's okay. I get to look at a golf course.
Yeah.
You get the pretty girl.
Yeah.
I understand.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's all right. Once in a lifetime. You better
surrounded by
enjoy it.
beauty, both of us, in one form or another.
Now
But anyhow,
boys.
we're talking with Dianne not just because she sounds great on the radio, but because she has started playing golf. And I'm sure, do you have a particular situation that you get really scared of because you have no idea what to do when you get there? Any one thing that stands out that you really hate to face?
It used to be my drives. And then lately my irons, I cannot hit that thing. I can't hit any of them at all.
Okay.
So I've been taking out my 3-wood in the fairway and just going boom. But so really, I think if anything, it's being about, if I'm right at about 150 yards from the pin, and the only thing I've got going for me there is my 3-wood.
Okay.
And so there's my second shot. I'm in trouble.
Okay.
And I don't have I don't have a 3-iron in that pretty little pink bag of golf clubs.
Well, that's good because nobody can hit one anyhow.
There you go. So I don't have that.
We tell you to take it out of the bag and start stirring up the fire.
Exactly. So I've tried the 5-iron. I cannot get my head around the 5-iron. I can hit the 7, the 8, and the 9. The 5 is not my friend.
When you do the 5, do you hit the ground first and chunk it, or do you hit the ball on the top and roll it a few feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Depending.
Yeah. Sometimes I hit it and it goes, I tow it and it goes over to the, the other fairway. It's just, I finally just looked at it and I said, why can't we be friends? I love you. I want to be your friend.
All right, Mr. Jeff, I know that without pictures, it's hard to discern, but what kind of suggestion?
When you have this 5-iron in your hand, Dianne, do you feel like you're swinging at the same pace that you normally would swing at, or do you feel like you're going at it a little softer, or do you feel like you're going at it a little harder?
This year, I've been trying to focus on letting the club do the work, because I heard that somewhere in a video, probably on your show. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, let the club. But I'm not kidding. I have not pulled it out of my bag this season. This is what I was doing last year. So this year I was just like, look, I'm just going to give myself a break. So the answer to your question is I don't remember. Okay. I probably was swinging it a little too hard and trying too hard and trying to muscle it through.
It is one of the first things that I see in a lot of amateurs, because when they don't play a lot of golf, they have this simple mindset that, the pitching wedge, you swing it easy. And then they think, well, because I'm supposed to be hitting the ball farther with, say, a 7-iron and then farther yet with a 5-iron, that they think that the level of energy that they use to swing it with should be escalating. I always try to caution people. There's only so fast you can really get it to move and get the ball to land in the right spot and have a good strike on it, because a lot of people go overboard on that real fast. But it makes me curious, because you're saying that your 3-wood's a pretty good friend of yours when a 5-iron is not. So makes me also want to ask you about your ball position. But if you haven't used your 5-iron in a year, I'm not really sure you're going to remember what that was.
Yeah, I've slept since then. So
yeah, that's what I figured.
Well, why don't we just go from where it should be? So the next time she's out there, she can pull out the 5-iron with a modicum of confidence.
Oh, I'm willing to take a chance again.
Yeah.
I'm all Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
I would.
Ready to take a chance anyway.
Yeah.
I would tell you that as you look at your longer clubs, and we'll talk 5-iron, and if you had a 4-iron, maybe that one, into your hybrid and into your 3-wood, you may want to consider having those a little left of center. And center, we don't talk about centers between the feet, because that's kind of a variable. I talk about center as it relates to the spine and the sternum, navel, running right down the middle of your body, and then have it about a ball to the left of that. A lot of people get their best strike on the golf ball with it being a little bit forward of center.
That makes sense.
It just seems to be that's where a lot of people make their best swings and their best strikes, and they're not, as John mentioned, hitting on top of the golf ball or hitting the ground too early. Before the golf ball. It always tends to be about that spot. So if you don't have it played in that spot while you're aimed in the direction that you want your ball to go, I would try that before I would try anything else. And it's kind of difficult if you haven't done it in a little while to give an accurate description of what that is. But I'd start there.
I think I see what you're talking about. That makes sense. And I can try that next time I play if it ever stops raining.
Yeah. It might eventually.
It might.
You can. In fact, the whole East Coast has been rainy all this past week. It's ridiculous. So a lot of people are sitting here jonesing really bad, going, I'm going to try that next time I go out there too.
Yeah, this is after 3 weeks of drought.
Yeah.
But but see, that doesn't make sense, because alternately I'm either topping it or I'm digging up Idaho,
Yeah. I would, check your ball position, check your tempo to make sure that you're not trying to, let's say, kill it.
Yeah.
Lots of people will try that. I've warned John against that a few times, and he's managed to somewhat stay within the same pace of golf swing throughout most of the clubs in his golf bag. And that's been a big help because he was much more under control. He wouldn't he wouldn't land the club in bad places anymore because he used to do that frequently.
Like on his foot?
Now it's significantly better.
Or on,
the bad places the club would land was after I hit a bad shot and threw the club in disgust is what happened. Yeah.
I was behind him at the time of talking to him about that. I was surprised that I wasn't in danger at some of those times.
A lot of my friends I play with will tell you that the safest place to be on the golf course with me is between me and the hole. That's where you won't get hit very much. Listen, we've got some questions I want to ask too because we had a situation after our show last Sunday out at Polo Fields. We were playing and realized that the greens had just been aerated. So that opened up a whole new can of worms. So if there's any advice you can give us about that, we'll be taking it when we come right back. We are those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-616-4030. That's 1-800-616-4030. Again, 1-800-616-4030. Call now.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. Out playing golf last weekend, 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what, one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super Speed. What's the website? Where do I go?
Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com. Pick up some of these sticks. Go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us. We're back, those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. Dianne Williamson, our special guest here in studio. Again, a woman you will recognize, but you don't know.
Hello.
Yeah, see? I heard that girl.
Thank you for calling Macy's. Seriously.
You have, we'll give you a plug for the business, She Said Productions, which works much better on paper than it does actually speaking it.
You have to be very careful when you say it. That's why I'm a highly paid professional. Don't try this at home, kids.
Yes, you think it's easy? It's like golf. I love people go, oh, you're on the radio. That's easy.
Oh,
Going,
yeah.
yeah, come try it.
Yeah.
Come try it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, Jeff's the only guy I know that can do both of them well. And he really ticks me off about it, too, let me tell you.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Before the break, Jeff, we mentioned that last Sunday after our live show out at the Polo Fields, we went out and we played. Great course, love it. It's a shot maker's course. It's kind of short, but a lot of trouble. You know, if you go too long, too short, too left, too right, you know, hang it up.
Sounds like hell.
Drop another, well, yeah. Much prettier than I've heard, however.
Shot, is that it? Just right.
Just right. The Goldilocks position, shot. Man. That's what we call it, too, because if you're too far in front, you know, you top the ball, too far back, you chunk the ball. It's the Goldilocks position where the ball should be, and it's a very small area where it's just right. But we had not been alerted to the fact, we didn't find out till we got to the first green, that they had recently aerated them. And I guess the procedure is you poke a whole lot of little holes and then you pour sand all over it.
Yeah.
How the heck do you putt on that?
I'll tell you what. The first thing you do is realize that you're no longer under control of your ball. The second you touch it, whether the surface is smooth or whether the surface is like it is when it's been airified, you can't control it after you touch it. So you got to give up control and you got to go, look, I'm just setting this up as good as I can. I'm going to try to predict what happens as good as I can. And then once it leaves the face, it's either going to bounce because of those holes or gather some sand on it, you know, like a little stripe around as it rolls, or it's not. If it's sandy and wet, you're going to see a little stripe of sand on that ball.
Right.
So just realize that you're interested in the speed and the general line. Go out there thinking, okay, they just airified the greens. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do what I can, and I'm not going to write down a 3-putt.
So, yeah, that's it. Just it'll be 2 no matter what. But does
unless the first one goes in, this is automatic 2-putt.
Does the sand speed the ball up or slow it down? Does it reduce or increase?
If it's wet, if it depends on if it's wet or not.
It was dry. If
it's dry, then it most likely, for most courses, will actually speed it up a little bit
because it reduces
because there's less friction.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I encountered that just a few weeks ago, and well, it's not like it mattered that much to me anyway. It's not like I'm making 25-foot putts, right? But actually, I did that once, and again, back to the addiction factor of this game.
That's right.
But yeah, that's good advice. I would have known that if it was wet, but it's almost impossible to putt on that.
Yeah.
For somebody like me.
The intrepid producer Mark was sinking him left and right. But
that'd be Mr. Fairway. I'm sorry. I know you call him intrepid producer. I just call him Mr. Fairway because I've never seen him in the rough except to look for your golf balls. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? Are we on now? Is this live?
That's 2.
Now,
right?
boys,
it's my 2 for the show, right?
Don't make me have to separate you.
But no, Mark, were you hitting it consciously harder or the same and hoping, or what was your technique out there?
You know, that's a good question. I don't know. We've talked about this before. It's just a confidence when you get up on the ball, and some days you have it, and you just feel good, and things are going in, and other days, you know, you can't hit anything.
Maybe it was the Bloody Mary before we started.
Well, that may have helped.
It couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt.
Just one.
Just one
before you start, and then maybe a fermented or
a wheat soda.
Yeah, a wheat soda while you're out there. Maybe 2 or 3. It depends on who's
change perspective because you're putting on airified greens, right?
It depends on who's buying. You have to give up control, which for some of us is very difficult to do, even in the best of conditions.
Yeah, because you're score bound.
Yeah.
You're sitting there thinking that everything is score related, and at that point, as soon as you realize you're on airified greens, it gives you a free pass.
Let yourself
then all
off
of a sudden, it's an automatic 2-putt in your mind. Next thing you know, you're putting better.
Okay.
Because you know it's not going to be a 3-putt.
Because you can go, if this doesn't go in, it's not my fault.
That's right.
Yes.
Exactly.
For a change.
Wouldn't it be nice to adopt such a mentality when they're not airified?
Wouldn't it, though?
Wouldn't it? Yes.
And on our next show.
That's right.
We're bringing in Dr. Gary Sales. He's going to tell us how to do that.
He will tell us chapter and verse on how to do that. Exactly. Because a lot of people go, oh, they're airified. I mean, Dianne just found out that a weekend trip that she was planning has to be canceled because French Lick golf courses close down when they airify their greens. They don't want people playing on them.
Right.
See, and they should just know it didn't matter to me. I'm still happy to go Monday and Tuesday and play over the Pete Dye course. I won't be mad. I'll play on those greens. I don't know why they don't just let me go. I had a spa appointment.
Hey, that spa's pretty nice too. You may want to go just for the spa. And you know what? Go for the restaurant there at the wonderful hotel there. The
French Lick Hotel, the 1865, 1875,
Oh.
1833, whatever year it was.
It's an hour away from my house, and I've never been there.
That's a stir for a lot of us around here. We were talking too. Once now you're an Indiana native, born and bred.
Right.
That's it.
New Albany.
Once you get to the point where you just want to play this game every opportunity you have, the state of Indiana is probably, if you take the Carolinas and Florida and California out, is probably the best state for great golf courses.
I would agree.
Because and great architects too. Because the names like Jeff's course, Otter Creek, so Robert Trent Jones designed golf course.
You've got with Reese Jones,
with
Pete
Reese,
Dye.
right? And you got Pete Dye,
right?
And you've got Tom Fazio, and
and Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus.
Hey, don't forget Fuzzy Zeller, hometown hero from New Albany, Indiana.
That's it.
Fuzzy's got a couple of them. Right?
Fuzzy's got a couple.
Right up the street from my house.
But then again, the course that we broadcast from 2 weekends ago here in town was Valley View Golf Course.
Yes.
In New Albany, which is where Fuzzy Zeller grew up and learned how to play golf.
That's right.
So,
they just redid that one, too.
And they did. By one of Pete Dye's assistants came in and redesigned the greens and redesigned some of the fairways, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
It's gorgeous up there.
You go to French Lick, and you've got those two courses. They played the 27 U.S. Open at the Donald Ross course at French Lick, Indiana. Come on. They're all over the place, and you don't even have to go, more than an hour north or an hour west to hit them all.
That's right.
It's just a hotbed. So you're in the right place. So I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. I'll give myself directions to get there.
Yes. Listen to her; she knows whereof she speaks. All right, we can get the technology of that. It confuses me. How do you know where I am? How do you know where I'm going?
I have one question that I'm sure that everybody's asked you. Do you take navigation instructions from a woman in the car because it's you?
Well, it's funny that you asked that. I do have actually OnStar in my vehicle, and but I was too cheap to activate it. So sorry.
So apparently that was not negotiated at the time.
I only do trade for golf. Okay,
you need a better agent. Is what you need.
So Siri was giving me directions to the radio station today, and she screwed up pretty
half
bad.
the time. Siri doesn't know where she is, let alone where you are.
Indeed,
we do know where we are, and we know that we've got more to do, and we will be coming back. We encourage you to hang out with us here with those Weekend Golf Guys, powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move. Jeff, you've seen me miss. Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The putting stroke teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like that.
Love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need you standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway.
Open up the box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, "You're the picture of health"? You look healthy, you feel fine, but that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Since it doesn't always cause symptoms, you may not know you have it. The only way to know is by getting screened. Screening can find precancerous polyps, so they can be removed before they turn into cancer. This is one cancer you can prevent. Plus, screening can find colorectal cancer at an early stage when the chance for a full recovery is very high. Talk with your doctor and get tested for colorectal cancer. Medicare and many insurance plans help pay for screening. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
And welcome back, those Weekend Golf Guys. John Ashton in studio, along with our special guest for the day, Dianne Williamson from the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, Mr. Jeff Smith. And on the line with us, direct from Nashville, Tennessee, Roger Sheaves. He's a director of the Golf Week Amateur Tour. Roger, how you doing, man? Thanks for spending some time with us here on those Weekend Golf Guys.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Listen, we talk to and about the amateur golfer all the time, which is a subject I know is near and dear to your heart, too. First question, I guess, for everybody listening is how good you have to be to join the Golf Week Amateur Tour and not make a complete fool of yourself.
You don't have to be good at all. We have had all kinds and all ages, men, women. I've got a young man that started with me at age 12, and he started in my D flight, which is 19 handicappers plus, and now he's all the way up to the B flight and shooting in the mid-80s. So it's been really great to see him progress. And a lot of guys, go from, the C flight all the way up to my champ flight. And one of those guys this past weekend shot his best tournament round ever of a 69. So Ooh. It's great to see people progress throughout the amateur ranks.
Mine's 69, and that was for all 18, right?
Yes, it was.
I mean, I shot a 69, but I stopped after 13. So
No, John, it was 12. It was 12.
Oh, okay.
You teed off on 13, and the rains came, okay? Remember that?
That's right. That's right. It was great. This is the first time I've have to walk off a golf course after shooting a 69. We don't have to tell anybody we didn't finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just let the cat out of the bag?
No, that's okay. Everybody knows I stink at this game. I do not pretend. Every once in a while, I have a stellar moment. I don't know. Do you find that even people who are kind of good when they play with their buddies and stuff, get a little anxious or nervous and go, Roger, I'm not really sure I'm up for that. Kind of scares me, the whole thought of it.
There's a couple running jokes with a few of my buddies. They'll call me and say, "Hey, Raj, I just want you to know I'm coming for you this weekend. I went out and played a practice round and shot, 74." And I said, "Well, I bet you won't break 80 when you come out to my tournament." And sure enough, they go out there and shoot an 85. And, the whole reason that I got involved with the golf tour, I joined as a member 9 years ago, because I found myself really nervous on playing in any type of structured event whatsoever, and was a single-digit handicap and wanted to play in some of the Tennessee Golf Association events. And literally my knees were knocking on the first hole. And I said, I got to find an outlet to get these nerves out of the way. And so I found the Golf Week Tour. It wasn't the Golf Week Tour back then, but 6 months later after joining it, me and two other gentlemen became partners and bought out the Nashville Tour, and we've been doing it for 8 years since. And we've grown from 30 members to 185, and we put on 13 tournaments a year now from March to October. And just to see the amateur golfer, to give them something better than scramble tournaments that they get invited with work and things like that. This is USGA with a few modifications, and it's all handicap-based, so it's fair and it's equal, and it gives really good competition for people that really want to get better at golf.
You say the D-Flight handicaps of 19 plus. What kind of score wins on the average?
I think this weekend the score was 95-97, I believe, was what took home the title for our 2-day event this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you have to go out and shoot lights out. One of our ladies there this weekend, she shot 106 the first day. and then came back and shot 96 the second day. And, just the look on her face and the pride she had for improving her score by 10 strokes was just, really great to see.
And you've been playing for 2 years now. You could do that, right?
This is my second season, John, and so far, I think the first time the very first time I played, I think I was at like 130. The first time I picked up clubs.
Okay.
My best score so far has been I shot a 96.
There you go.
Oh,
and
good for you.
we're 12 months into this thing.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
See, it's such an easy game.
And then the game after that, I think I shot 150.
Yeah, probably.
That's not what we're talking about. It's addictive. It's those lower scores or it's those special shots. That's what got me addicted. The first few times I played, it's frustrating and it can be demoralizing.
Yes,
even.
it can. It's that last shot on 18 where you hit that beautiful iron shot right onto the green and go, if I just did this more often, I could do that all the time.
Yeah, can I string 3 of those together?
Yeah, exactly. How much it cost to get involved in the tour?
Oh, it's very inexpensive for us, and actually, there's 52 tours around the country. There's actually one right there in your neck of the woods in Louisville, run by Casey Dickinson.
Yep.
But our fee to join is each year is anywhere from $85 to $100, and then each tournament ranges from $85 to $130 for a single day event, and then 2-day events can be $150 to $220. The great thing is about us, and this is really what I love about the amateur tour, is once you join, for example, my tour, you can go play any other tour in the country. A lot of times what we'll do, we'll take 8 of us, like next year, we're going to be playing 2 of the courses up at Kohler at Whistling Straits, and we're going to go make a 5-day trip out of it and have a Golf Week 2-day event rolled into there. So we get the competition, but we also get to be with our buddies and play some serious golf on a nice little trip. So this year we did the ocean course at Kiowa Island. The golf course won with 30-mile-an-hour winds in your face for 11 straight holes, but hey, it was one of the most beautiful golf courses in the world, and we got to play with our friends and play in competition.
Yeah,
but you could have turned around and played the other 8 coming back in, and it wouldn't have been straight into your face. It'd been behind you.
Well, it's funny that you say that. And that course is set up just like that. Even though it's one of the most beautiful, it's also one of the most difficult. I've never played a golf course where I lined up to hit my tee shot 30 yards left of a fairway bunker, and it ended up 50 yards right into the lake.
That's a guy who hits a high ball on a wrong golf course. That's right. That's what that is right there.
I don't have those golf shots.
I'm looking at your schedule, and you're every place. You're playing some really great places all over the country.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, our year-end championship, I'm so excited. I'm leaving on October 10th. We go to Hilton Head every year. This is my 8th year going. Our national championship is a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And last year we had 920 golfers. In November, we have our senior tour, which is for those guys and gals over age 50. And that's also in Hilton Head this year.
Which courses are you playing? I can't scroll down fast enough to see that.
The ones on the schedule this year, you've got Robert Trent Jones. The courses I'm playing are Hampton Hall, which is actually in Bluffton. You got Arthur Hills, Robert Cup, which, I'm not a real big fan of Robert Cup. He's really not a nice golf architect. But
you know what? You're going to be even less a fan when you play that one.
Exactly. Oyster Reef is on there. Last year, 2 years ago, I had my best ever tournament round at the Ocean Course on Sea Pines and shot even par. And, it's funny, we've been talking a lot about shot making and stuff like that and getting ready for Hilton Head. And because, those courses are so much different than they are here in the Midwest. And I was telling somebody, I only hit driver twice at the Ocean Course and shot even par. And it just shows you don't have to be long. You have to be accurate sometimes and know when and how to play a course versus just see how far I can hit the ball.
Hit it where you know you can hit it. or hit it to where you know your second shot you can handle.
And I told one of my guys this weekend, he was one of my D-flighters, he was really nervous, and I said, I've watched you go to the range, and you'll sit there and you'll pound balls and pound balls and pound balls and go through a large bucket of 100 balls, and then you'll go over and putt for 3 minutes. I would really like to see you reverse that and go putt for 30 minutes and hit balls for 10 or 15, because your swing is your swing. Where you make up the difference is on the putting green in the short game. At least that's where I do.
Right.
And I said, you really need to get into that mentality of 30 putts or less per round. Make that a goal for you each round. And he said it really helped him, and he went over the second day and practiced. I saw him. He practiced for 20 minutes putting, and he came back the next day. First day he shot 98. Second day he came back and shot 88 and was really happy with that score.
So that's two people he's mentioned that took 10 points.
10 strokes
10
off.
strokes off there.
Yeah.
I want to come play with you guys.
It's an open invitation. Trust me.
Open invitation. That's exactly right.
Roger Sheaves, Director, Golf Week Amateur Tour in Nashville. And again, you join one and you can play them all, right? So if someone were to be a member of Casey's tour up here, then they could enter some of your tournaments, no problem?
Absolutely. And a lot of guys do that. And, we allow you to miss tournaments on our tour and then make up tournaments on other tours so that you don't lose your points, because there is a qualifier system to be able to go to Hilton Head. The top 10 in each flight in points get to go to Hilton Head, and you have to play in a minimum of 5 or 6 events. I can't remember.
Okay.
But there is a qualifier to be able to go. So a lot of guys that join late in the season, they have the ability to make up some of those events by going to other venues.
Gotcha.
We do get on a lot of private courses as well. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of folks really use our golf tour as their country club. They get to play courses that they don't normally play. All of my best friends have come off this golf tour, people that I do business with. The camaraderie really, really comes out off the golf tour a lot.
Yeah, which is another reason to play the game to begin with. But I got to just say, I thought the only qualification to get on to Hilton Head was you had to show your financial statement at Buford. But Roger Sheaves from the Golf Week Amateur Tour in Nashville. Man, appreciate your time. Great to meet you, man. And we'll keep in touch and see how things are going in the world of amateur golf as next season starts and progresses. Appreciate it, man. All right, we've got a lot more coming up. We really encourage you to. It'll be worth it. Trust me.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobetes, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just 1 day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobetes isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobetes now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
And welcome back once again, those Weekend Golf guys. We're still here. Glad you're still there. John Ashton in studio, along with Dianne Williamson, a newly created amateur golfer. Newly welcomed to the fold and very much addicted. And there is no cure.
Oh, my gosh.
So, and Jeff Smith, who's like a pusher.
Hey, come over here. First lesson's free.
That's right. That's right. Get them hooked, and there you go. Listen, there's a kind of a touchy subject that we should address here, much to Diane's consternation. Dianne has never had a lesson.
No.
Uh-oh.
No.
Diane's exposure and technique has been suggested to her by her significant other.
Ouch.
And
I'm
you
sorry.
have, and you have,
I'm sorry. I've not been involved in the situation, but I will apologize.
And you have railed against that as just being a bad idea, not on a specific situation, but generically speaking.
Yeah.
Don't
Golf
take
is such
advice.
A frustrating game.
Yeah, don't take advice from your spouse at all.
Or significant other. It is very difficult. Coming from someone who has relationships and likes those relationships, to put it in the context of someone's going to be telling you to do something that's a frustrating experience to begin with, and then giving you advice on how to do it, that is a really fast way to ruin the rest of the relationship. I've taught family members. It's been very difficult. I've taught nieces, nephews. I've taught all three of my children. It is certainly one of the most difficult things that I've ever done is to try to separate the rest of the relationship to the golf instruction part.
I guess you were real lucky that your wife was better than you when you met her, huh?
Yes, I am, actually. My wife played college golf when I was just beginning to play. She was a real player, not just an average run-of-the-mill girl who played golf.
Yeah.
She was a Big Ten collegiate player, academic All-American a couple years in a row for Indiana University, and she could flat out play, headed for the LPGA Tour, but she really didn't want to go do that because you don't know when your next paycheck's coming and you really don't know how much it's going to be when it shows up. She wanted something a lot more stable. So she didn't do that. But yes, when I started to learn, she actually started to teach me a little bit, and then she sent me to some of other people because it was a tough deal.
Yeah, because she liked you and knew that in order to let that relationship blossom, she needed to get out the picture quickly.
Yeah, because it quickly consumed the conversation in the car and back at home and everywhere else.
Well, even with Jeff and I, Jeff was working with us here for about 8 months to a year before we ever got the opportunity to play golf together. And we were playing golf in a scramble, very low pressure, fun type, deal. And I was having some problems. And it was the 14th hole before I finally just turned around and said, Jeff, what the hell am I doing? And Jeff's reaction was, thank you for asking. Right? Because he knew what I had been doing wrong since hole number one.
Oh, yeah.
But he wasn't going to say anything until
No.
I was ready to accept and ask for the advice.
It's a tricky situation that if you've got a relationship with someone, and in my situation, I wouldn't be playing golf if it were not for Art.
Right.
Because he introduced me to the game. Okay, so there's that.
Right.
And I know what you're talking about. There have been a couple of times where he's do this, and he wants to show me he's trying to be helpful, and I'm just looking at him going, leave me alone. Like the voice of Satan comes out of me. And poor guy, God bless him, he is a saint because he's like, okay, back off. He backs away slowly. So,
I'm going over here and look for some balls.
But the person's introducing you to the game.
Learned something too, hasn't he?
Yes.
Well, the perfect voice of OnStar has now changed into Lucifer.
Yes, Beelzebub speaks. So, but you're introduced to the game by somebody that's been playing it, and he's been playing it, off and on for years. Mm-hmm. And certainly there are things that I can learn from him, and I have learned from him.
Sure.
But I really think that what you say is true because it's a frustrating situation to be in the beginning.
Right.
And with me, I felt like such an idiot. I felt like I looked ridiculous, and I was frustrated, and I was mad at myself.
And if I don't play as well as him, he won't like me as much.
No, I don't think that.
Oh,
No, he's crazy about me.
Oh, that's off the golf course. There's no ego problem with this woman at all. So, well, maybe you should take a dual lesson.
That's what we were thinking about doing. Actually, we'd like to set that up. So.
Both of you drive up to Otter Creek.
We
tell
can
you
do
what.
that.
That's not a bad idea if you come to me, but you have to go to an experienced teacher. If you go to a young teacher, new to teaching, not just age-wise, but young as an instructor, they will not be able to handle two people that will be shockingly different
simultaneously
at the same time.
Yeah.
So you're our guy, right?
Yeah, he's
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
done.
Yeah, what he was doing is not. See, he does these anti-promotional announcements. He wasn't saying that I'm the best choice for you. He's just telling you who not to go to.
Gotcha.
And when you start eliminating
everybody else,
you go, well, wait a minute. I guess Jeff would be the guy. So there you go. But
you're going to have to handle. Have to have somebody in front of you because I'm talking to Diane, but I'm also talking to everybody else that's listening to us. Hopefully, that's more than like 6 people.
Yeah,
but anyway,
last count it was 9.5.
That's great. Have somebody like half asleep on us or something?
That's right. They tuned in late.
Okay. But what I'm saying is that you've got to go with someone who can quickly identify what one person needs and that will be different than what this other person needs. Because unfortunately, what happens when they go to teachers that don't have an awful lot of experience is that teacher will only really be able to spot one thing, and then they'll start working on both people with the same thing. And it might not apply to one or even either of them at the time. So when I have people come to me, the first thing I tell them is, okay, you're two individual people at two different levels of skill, two different levels of coordination, two different physical bodies, and I will look at you as individuals, and then 6 feet over here, I'll step over and look at that person as an individual. Right. So when you hear me say something to the other person, please do not try to make that apply to you.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people try to cheat, and they'll just they'll see a lesson going on at the practice tee at a golf course,
and
they'll just go over and get a bucket of balls and just go over like they're practicing, but they're eavesdropping, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay because I like talking to those people in the golf lesson. What I'll do is, when the person in front of me is hitting some golf balls and they're getting things straightened out, I don't need to be saying something to my student every moment. But what I'll do is I'll step over and I'll say, hey, at some point, if you would like me to help you with what I see going on in your game and how you're going about it, I'll be happy to help. And then I just go right back over because then all of a sudden they stop listening because they realized, hey, look, my thing's different than their thing.
Yeah. Right. And he knows I'm listening. So, yeah, exactly. Sure. And just one more little topic that I'm sure you have found is that I'm sure you've learned more about art by playing golf with him than you did in a whole series of dates with him.
I was just about to say that, John. What I like about doing this now, and it's a great relationship builder. It really can be. I mean, not just in, with my relationship with Art, but, I've got a girlfriend, go play with her, or as couples. I like the culture of it. I like the experience of it. It can be a whole lot of fun. Now that I've stopped cussing when I would miss the ball, I'm a lot more fun to play golf with.
At least you've stopped doing it out loud.
Exactly. Instead, now it's funny. I learned a thing. I went and played a golf scramble with my best friend a few weeks ago, and we played with a gentleman. And when he would, very rarely would he do it, but he'd hit a bad shot. He would go, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go,
Yeah, that's
Right. Now, I have been counseled by Jeff to not do that, to let it out, get rid of it. Just right there. You did it. Scream whatever obscenities you want to.
Well, I don't say
it's
scream.
Done. No, okay,
it's
just
really about getting it out, but that doesn't mean that everybody else has to hear it.
Oh, that's true. But say what you need to say.
Use your inside voice
in whatever terms you need to use.
Yeah, because the people that hold it in just explode.
Yeah,
later.
then you have vented, and you're ready to move on to the next shot. And the other thing I learned from Jeff too, excuse me 1 second, just want to tell you that even when you hit a bad shot, one time playing with Jeff, I hit a bad shot. One time.
I'm sure that's only once.
And I was a little bit upset, and Jeff just looked and said, "John, is it closer to the green than it was when you swung?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Fine, let's move on. You've made it. You've progressed. Let's go to the next one now and figure out what to do."
Exactly.
And
it's
he
all
looked
about
at me for a moment like I had two heads. And
no, it's forward progress. I mean, here's my goal. If I can hit it farther than I can throw it, I'm good.
There you go.
I'm all right.
Yeah. Words to live by, Dianne. It's great to see you again. Thank you for spending some time with us, and good luck with the game. And again, Otter Creek's just up the road from you, so go on up there and talk to Jeff, and I'm sure you'll be shooting in the 80s.
Thanks, guys.
In just a few moments. All right, check us out, thoseweekendgolfguys.com. Go download the free app. You can get it from the iTunes store. You can get it from the Google Play Market. It's free. Listen to us on your own schedule, not ours. Follow us on Facebook, please, because we love to see those numbers go up. It's facebook.com/golfguys. Or you could follow us on Twitter. We are at WKND Golf Guys. And we're playing around with some other stuff, but we don't know how it works. So as soon as we learn that, we'll get it all out there. Next weekend, same place, same time, we will be here. Thanks for listening. Go play some golf. Bye.